I think having a healthy dose of spite, a healthy dose of just like giving the finger to the rest of the world, a healthy dose of, you know, if you're not going to believe in me, so what? I will see you. I will see you on the other side. I have had this feeling of, you know, you're not gonna believe me. You're not gonna trust me. You're you're not going to actually do anything. Screw them for a long time, and I'm becoming a lot more like, you know, you just weren't gonna believe me in the first place. So why should why should I care? Why does it actually matter? And I'm becoming more just like, I don't care, right? Like, I think having that healthy dose of skepticism, of, you know, people are just not gonna like you. Like, I know that this is just, it's just high school, essentially. They're just not gonna like you no matter what. And so having this like, all right, well, I'm just going to walk around and try to make other people feel good. And I'm going to try to do the best of my ability, given with the resources that I actually have, of just making people good inside. I'm going to try to do that as best as I can. Right. And so knowing that people are not going to believe you right up the get go, they're not going to trust you, they're going to look down on you. That's a big one. they're they're gonna look so down on you, but you just gotta walk up and say, "All right, let's get to work. Let's get going," and not care about any of those people. Like just totally disarm the situation of like, yeah, you're just not in my league anyways, because I'm looking to see how I can affect not just one individual and sort of build my sort of moat around where I actually am, but actually make a whole bunch of people feel good in all walks of life and break down barriers and say hi to people and smile and do all those kind of things where other people are just going to be like, nah, you're below me. Why would I actually do any of that kind of stuff? The irony is, if you do this long enough, if you work on building this confidence inside where you're good with everybody, right? Like you're just solid with everybody in all walks of life, that eventually things do work out, right? It does come around. And those people that look down on you, you're like walking past them. You're just giving them a nice little smirk, in the hall, or you just give them a smile, like you're just being a normal functioning human being, and they're wondering what the hell just happened there. And that's been my experience my whole life. Is and it might be like a bit of the underdog thing going on. I don't know, but I also think it's just like, you know, screw them, right? Like it's just not that important. They know what's going on, and if they're not going to back you up in various different ways, and be supportive, and do all this kind of thing, screw them. I'm just going to walk around and do a whole bunch of good things regardless, so that eventually I can feel good about myself. And that's ultimately, I think, in the long run, that's what I'm thinking about, is not how can I build my empire within this little tiny moat, which I think a lot of people think about, right? They sort of play the political game and this is their moat. But I'm like, let's just shift this whole thing together. And if we shift this whole thing together and we do like, some Gandhi shit kind of thing, right? Like where you're just like, man, this is silly. This is goofy. Why are we playing these games? Right? Like, let's just try to be nice to to everybody, right? Like, or you do the whole Nelson Mandela stuff, where you just like, this is goofy. Um, what are we doing here? Let's just change this all together. And I'm not gonna like play by those particular rules that everybody has. I'm gonna start with something, and I'm gonna keep building it and building it and building it, and so that you feel confident and you feel good, and you get to play a part of this role of it actually doing something and changing. And ultimately, I hope you do the same thing. I hope you're out there doing the same thing where, people are looking down on you and saying like how stupid you're being and all that kind of stuff. And you just smile and nod, you wink past. I